Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Breaking news and sadly to report that Virginia Giuffre has died on Friday at the age of 41 of suicide. And then anyone don't know who she is, she's one of Epstein victim that she was sexually assaulted at the age of 16, and she was very vocal about her sexual abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, along with Prince Andrew, and she was very vocal about it. She was all over the media. She was in documentaries as well, telling her story, how she was sexually abused at the age of 16, and sadly to report that she died this past Friday at the age of 41 as suicide. Now, I just want to give my input on this because apparently she was involved in a major bus accident and she was rushed to the hospital. And I believe the doctors told her that she only had a few days to live and she wanted her children to be next to her before she goes. I heard about the story briefly about it, but I didn't know the full extent of it. But back to wanted to give my input of this. Now, they're saying that she died at the age of 41. They're saying that it was a suicide. And I just have questions about it. I really do. And it just feels very bizarre and weird that she just killed herself when things were starting to open up about Jeffrey Epstein case. I know Pam Bondi, she was going to release some files um, of Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I feel like that was just a half-ass because none of the files was just irrelevant. They were just flight logs. It didn't show or tell us anything about Jeffrey Epstein. We all want to know where's that black book, that blacklist with all the names of the co-conspirators who were involved in the sex trafficking ring. That's the names that we need to know, and that's the names that they have, but they're not presenting to the people. Instead, Pam Bondi, she's just presenting the flight logs, which to me, in my opinion, is very irrelevant. We don't need to know the flight logs of who Jeffrey Epstein flew across the world or who he brought in his private plane. Okay, to me, it's boring. Okay, we don't need that. We need the names of the list that were involved, and she's not doing that. And it's been like how many months that we still are waiting for like the real conspirators? Like, are you going to release the names or you're not? And I just feel like with that and with Virginia, we're just very adamant and very vocal about her sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein, along with Prince Andrew. All of a sudden, she died. All of a sudden, that she had a bus accident, which I was told by one of the news reporters. It was like kind of like a fender bender thing, but she landed in the hospital. And this is a picture of her on the right, on my right hand side, of when she was in a hospital and she was severely was in a bus accident. And then to my left, that's Prince Andrew, that's Virginia, and back in the background, that's Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. So this story doesn't make any sense to me. It's not adding up. But Rolling Stone said, and I'm going to read it to you what Rolling Stone said. It says Virginia Giuffre, the woman who accused the late convicted sex offender Jeff Epstein of trafficking her as a teenager, has died by suicide. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. I don't believe it was a suicide. I really don't. And if it was a suicide, where is the autopsy report? Where is the medical examiner stating that it was a suicide? We're just going to believe based on what someone is saying to the media that it was suicide. How was it a suicide? What happened? What's the details? We have no details of the suicide. All that they're saying that is a suicide. Again, how is it a suicide? I want to know, where's the proof? Did the medical examiner examine her body? Is there an autopsy report? What is it? I'm not going to go based on what someone's saying in social media or the live mainstream saying that it's a suicide. What proof do you have that it was a suicide? And to me, it's very odd and very suspicious. At the age of 41, she she killed herself. I I just that's hard for me to believe that. You know, a woman who's a mother, um, a wife, and she was very advocate of what happened to her at the age of 16, and all of a sudden she just, "Oop, I'm just going to end my life." I don't buy it for a second. I feel like there's a cover up. I feel like there's something more cynical about this, and it's just crazy to me. It's just absolutely crazy. It just reminds me of what happened with Jeffrey Epstein, how he died in his jail cell when the lights, the cameras, everything was turned off. The guards were nowhere to be found. They dropped the ball, and I just feel like with this same situation here too, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I just want to read to you this statement um, of this. Virginia Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abuse survivor, died. Okay, she was very vocal, you guys. If you've seen her in all the documentaries, and her is very adamant that she was sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein took her to Prince Andrew's home and basically sex trafficked her at a young age. Even though Prince Andrew has denied the allegations, but she's saying that this really happened to her and everyone knew about it and no one didn't say anything. And I tend to believe her that that really did happen to her. I really did. I believe Jeffrey Epstein was the first to sexually assaulted her and abuse her, and then he sex trafficked her with Prince Andrew, allegedly, because he's denying it. Now, like I said, I'm definitely going to follow up on this more. I don't believe it was a suicide, in my honest opinion. I feel like there's more to it, to this story. Again, what proof do they have? They have not presented the proof. They have not presented the autopsy. Nothing to whatsoever that she committed suicide. And I just feel like it's just a big cover up. Maybe they was trying to, in my opinion, to investigate more of Jeffrey Epstein case. I don't know what her role is, but I know that she was a big part of it. She was the only one who really advocated about her experience and her the situation that happened to her. And it's just hard to believe that this woman just died. I just don't believe it. Again, unless there's some proof, unless they presented a medical examiner or some type of report that claims that it was a suicide, I believe there's more to it. I believe she probably got killed because again, she was the only one who only vocalized about her situation, and all of a sudden that she just died like that, and in a bus accident, not died as a bus accident, but then she was involved in a bus accident, but they were saying it was just a small fender bender. So where did she get all those bruises from on her face, like I showed you in the video when I first started? Nothing's adding up, in my opinion. Nothing makes sense. I feel like it's just a big, huge cover up, in my opinion. And I will know more. Once I know more, I will let you guys know about this. But it's just very odd and very suspicious that she died at the age of 41 of suicide. And where's the proof? Where's the proof? I'm not going to go based on what people are saying. Oh, she died at suicide, case closed. Same thing with Jeff Epstein. He died at suicide, case closed, which it was case closed. And like I said in my video, the series that I did, it was not a suicide, it was a homicide. And a lot of people knew about this and they covered it up because, like I said, he knew too much. He knew who was involved in his sex ring operation, and people wanted to shut him down, which they did because he was going to turn. He was going to flip on these people for him to get himself a deal, like a nice plea deal. And the people that were involved and the people on the names on that blacklist, they didn't want that to happen, like I stated. They did not want it to happen. And what they did, they ended his life. And to me, that is the most impressive, I have to say, impressive cover up, and to make it look like he committed suicide. Genius on whoever planned this, genius on whoever orchestrated this, because that was a good look, a good move on whoever did this. Really, it did, because suicide, case closed, and that's it. No more and further investigation of If it was a suicide, nothing like that. They wanted the case to be closed, and that was it. That's it. And until we know more about Virginia, I'm not going to rule it as a suicide. Again, I'm not a medical examiner doctor. I'm none of that. But until we have more evidence to back up this claim, something probably happened to her. Not just my opinion, something happened to her. But let me know what your thoughts and your opinions, and let me know if you heard about the suicide of Virginia that happened this past Friday. And I just want to say thank you so much for everyone for watching and listening to That's It. I really appreciate each and one of you for liking, subscribing, and sharing to other people and commenting as well. I love you all. Everyone take care. God bless. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.